Hi, everyone. Let's get started on example 4. Example 4 is pretty similar to example 3. So if you thought you understood how to convert from standard form into vertex form using the axis of symmetry equation method, then you can go ahead and get started. Otherwise, follow along with Miss Long. Okay, so again, one way you can get from standard form of a quadratic to vertex form is by completing the square. I've already taught you how to do that. Now, in example 1 and 2, I taught you using our axis of symmetry equation, I could not talk today. I taught you how to find your vertex point through this method. So in my opinion, again, I think it's a little bit easier to use the axis of symmetry technique to get to vertex form. But again, if you hate this method, you can simply just complete the square. So it's kind of up to you. So if you would rather solve by completing the square and then see if you get the same thing when we get done, you can do it that way. It doesn't hurt my feelings. Okay, well, let's get started, you guys. So remember, when we're converting into vertex form, do not touch y and x. Usually in an equation, you need a y and an x. Okay, so don't touch those. The only things that we'll be replacing are the a, h, and k values in the equation. Okay, but leave the x and y alone. Don't touch them or the demon cats will be greeting at your door today. It's pretty violent. Okay, but anyways, let's get started. So the a value of standard form is the same a value of vertex form. Guys, so the a value of standard form is the number in front of the x squared, which is a -2. Guys, so I'm going to write -2 right in front of my parenthesis because that is where the a value goes. Okay, and then to find the vertex point, I cannot talk today, good God. Sorry, you guys. To find the vertex point, I must complete the axis of symmetry equation to get the h value. And then the way that you get your k value is substituting in the h value back into your equation and replacing every single x with what you get. And bam, you'll have the k value. Okay, well, let's get started, you guys. So, the axis of symmetry is the opposite of b. So, the opposite of +8 is -8. There you go, -8. So, it's going to be -8 over 2 times a, which a is -2. Okay. So we have -8 over 2 times -2 is -4. And -8 divided by -2 is +2. So the h value in my vertex form is +2. Okay? Or the h value in my vertex point, which will eventually will put that in vertex form, is 2. Okay, so the way that you find your k value, I'm going to substitute 2 in for every single x in my equation because don't forget, I know it's the h value, but it's in the x coordinates place. So technically it's also an x value, which I know is confusing. So we're going to replace every single x with that 2. Our x's will be transforming into a 2. Okay, well, let's solve. So we have y equals -2 times my x is now going to be a 2. So that x will transform into 2. So we have 2 squared and plus 8 times another x. So x will transform into my 2. And then plus 2. Let's solve this thing for y. Guys, so don't forget, these two are secretly multiplying. Okay, do you do exponents first or multiplication first? Like, am I going to do -2 times 2 and square that? Or am I going to do 2 squared then times the -2? Well, you have to do exponents first in order of operation. So I'm going to square the 2 first, then multiply it by a -2. So 2 squared 2 times 2 is 4. Okay. 8 times 2 is 16. And I'm going to bring on down that 2. -2 times 4 is -8. Okay, and then negative 8 plus 16 is 8, and 8 plus 2 is 10. Yeah. Oh, sorry, guys, you couldn't see that. Sorry. So negative 8 plus 16 is 8, and then I brought on down that 2. 8 plus 2 is 10. So the y value of my vertex point, which is the k value, is 10. And I'm just going to double check everything real quickly. Yep. And then, yep, looks good. All right, so my K value is 10. Yay! And then guess what, you guys? All I have to do is write this point, my vertex point. I have to place the H and K into my vertex form of the equation. And then guess what? I'll be done. Guys, so don't forget, the H value, you have to think the opposite. The sign of the H value in your point will be the opposite of what it is in the equation. So the opposite of a positive 2 is a negative 2. Okay, and then the K value is what it is. So I'm just, since it's a positive 10, I'm going to add 10 onto the end of my equation. And guess what, you guys? That's it. That's vertex form. Excellent work, everyone.